I am writing a paper for a class in discrete mathematics. My topic is induction, and I begin by going to Google. I look at the first sources that come up, and I read through them and look to see what fits more in my category. And I do not seem to find what I'm looking for, so I add more keywords to my research, as in discrete mathematics, and I found a topic at the top. I scroll down and see what I can understand. I do not see a Wikipedia page, so I go back to my first research and click on mathematical induction, as I noticed that before. I use Wikipedia just to get a general idea of what I'm looking for. I start to read. I read a little bit of the history and the description. When I see words I don't understand or certain topics on this page, I tend to open a second tab and Google them such topics. I see they all lead me to the same information. I go to the top and redefine my topic once again. Scroll down. I click on a link that seems to be a website made for high school students. Therefore, it seems easier. As I scroll down, I seem to like this link, so I will open up an email page and copy and paste the URL and then email it later to myself, so I will have a copy of this URL. I go back to my main page and I scroll down to see if I find anything else. I see some videos that would look interesting. I see that induction hypothesis is mentioned here, something that was brought up in class, so I plan to find out a little bit more about this. I see a PDF on this topic, and it seems to be from another school. So I click on it just because I feel like it would teach me something some other professor covered that maybe my professor did not cover. So I read through the paper. It's something interesting, so I download the PDF to my computer so I can keep on hand whenever I might need it. I see several PDFs from different other schools, so I begin to click on them just to see what other students might be researching or working on. As I see these notes, I go back to some of my own notes and compare them to what these notes here are. I make several comments on my own personal notes about something that could be done differently, because I feel like this online material helps me understand it better. Also, when I do research, I tend to click on Answers Yahoo just to see what other people around the world have asked questions about, to see if I have similar questions like them or they have questions like I do, and read through their comments. Although this might not be credible information, I decide to look up examples of induction. And the first result at the top is a link to Purple Math, which I've used in the past and find to be reliable. So I decide to go into it and do a little bit of reading on it. Again, I look at my personal notes and compare them to some of the examples used on this particular website. As I read down, I decide to copy and paste the URL to my email so I can have for later use. As I'm reading through here, I begin to wonder if there is some kind of calculator that would help me solve this faster, so I decide to research for a calculator or some kind of generator. The material that comes up through my Google search seems to be irrelevant, and seems there will not be a calculator for this particular math problems. reading through some of my searches, I began to think how this would apply to real life problems, so I add that to my research. So scroll down, I see Chegg, a website that usually is advertised for college students, and it seems to have that particular question I asked. So I click on it to find out more information. Seems to be in the relative website and asked me to pay to receive the answer. So I scroll down. I see the .org website that seems to answer my question, so I click on it. And the question seems to not be answered on this particular website. I clicked on page 2 at the bottom of the Google, which is something I rarely do because I feel like the first page contains the most relative ideas or websites that contain my topic. As I read though, I see that none of these seem to apply to anything I want to know. So I click on a video. To see what kind of information is displayed in the video. I begin to skip through the video to see more relative or what I like to see. Seems the video is 10 minutes long, so I copy the URL and email it to myself to watch when I have more time. I'll click on images just to see a couple pictures of different proofs that have been taken or used by other organizations or schools. Scroll at the bottom to see if anything pops out that I might be interested in.